to begin? Ah, yes.
Okay, hopefully that won't get us into trouble, but like last time. Hello, welcome to the Comic Clip Lore Special number 2 about Lord of the Rings. And we got a new member to join in this one, Matchstick. And
McRib.
today, okay, so like,
what will help you avoid copyright strikes from the Tolkien and Society? McRibs.
okay, so just to let people know, stuff happened during the first time recording, and they got into watching this YouTube series about McRibs, and now they're just
to be honest, I would actually really love it if Warner Brothers does strike us down for that split second of of the Shire music we used.
That means Warner Brothers admits that McRibs are canon to
No. We have to edit in McRibs. Then if it gets canceled, McRibs will be canon.
who would create them?
Not me. I'm too lazy for that shit.
No, who would make the McRibs in the Lord of the Rings?
I don't know.
Hobbits?
Probably.
They eat everything.
Yeah, the Hobbits just always eating stuff. They could make McRibs.
Okay, so let's just recap from previous lore. So we talked last time about Baron Luthien. Changis, what did you learn from Baron Luthien?
She had a giant wolf that died if you talked 3 times. Because she wanted a McRib.
Okay, so you completely forgot?
No, because I remember about the giant wolf that dies if it talks 3 times. So
it's a giant dog. It's a hound.
Wolves, dogs, they're pretty much the same.
Okay, so you basically forgot about everything.
No, I told you if I forgot about everything, I wouldn't forget about the giant wolf that died 3 times. I mean, that died if it spoke 3 times.
Ooh, teacher, there was a giant dog that died if it spoke 3 times.
Yeah, that's
Am I
it.
correct on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that also you still failed the test, even though you weren't there, Matchstick.
I have McRibs. I failed nothing.
Oh, this is gonna be okay. So today we're gonna, we're just gonna do sort of an overview at the first age, but we're gonna do it by examining the main movers and shakers of not like but one of the big ones. This one household called the House of Faenor, because without Faenor, essentially, and his family, they kind of caused most of the events of the First Age, a lot of the big events, and just to sum up my opinion of their household.
Failure.
Yeah,
Their failures.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to it. I listened to for Feanor. I have been slowly going through the Silmarillion, and I know I listened through all of Feanor's story. Not so much on his sons, because I'm still in the midst of it, and most of it takes place in the First Age. So I just refreshed myself by watching lore videos and Wikipedia entries, just a refresher on him. So, Feanor, this handsome guy. So, Feanor was born in the years of the trees. So, during our last record, I had to explain to Changis how in Middle Earth there was two things about the geography. One, the world was flat, and two, the world was lit up, but there was no sun and moon. The whole world was light up by trees.
Those round earthers. Freaking
Those
conspiracy
round
theorists.
earthers. God damn.
Yeah,
You know
well,
why,
though,
you know why
well,
they believe in round Earth? Because they
well,
never had a
well,
McRib in their entire life.
yes, this is going to be a recurring joke, the joke that went to the ground. But also in Lord of the Rings, during the Second Age, the Earth became round.
Oh shit! Now we're at the flat earther theory again.
No, like they literally made the Earth round. It's hilarious.
All those flat earthers, all those round earthers suddenly became flat earthers real quick.
Yeah. Okay. So Faenor. So Faenor is the son of Finwë, who is like the king of the elves known as the Noldor. Just some overview about how elves clans are named. Essentially, your clan name is basically based on what you do during a group of elves journey to Valinor, which is the elf equivalent of, they're called the Undying Lands. So they're like the elf. They're not heaven per se. They're more like Eden, like an island of Eden. And so the Noldor is one of the three elves that lives in Elf Eden. And so he was born in the years of the trees, because you can probably guess what happened, that the years of the tree ended. So his birth was kind of sad because his birth causes the first death that happened in Valinor. His mother died. She lost her will to live.
She Pat made her way out of life.
Yeah, it's even funnier because the place that she died in Lorien, which is a land in Valinor, and she became like a sleeping beauty for hundreds of years. Even though they literally let a corpse lie on the trees.
Yeah.
So that was like the big event of him growing up. He grew up to be like a great craftsman, and great craftsman's good at making things. But another big event happens with his father. So his father did something that normally elves don't do. He remarried, and having two other sons, named Fingolfin and Finarfin. Those are important names. So he has half brothers.
Okay.
And by the way, my opinions on those: Fingolfin is a Chad. His whole family lines are a bunch of Chads.
Huh.
So Finarfin is actually the father. I think Finarfin is the father. Let me just check. I just needed to check some. Yes, he is the father of Galadriel. And thus he's also the great. He is essentially the great great grandfather of Arwen. So another Chad, I will say so. So, but essentially, out of the sons, Finwë loved Faenor the best. So much like Rebecca's situation with Jacob, and you can probably guess what happened. Faenor became a spoiled brat and hated his siblings, which will come into play later. But he was very skillful. Like he made a writing system that known as a Tenwa, which became the Elf Noldorian writing system for until the Third Age. And he became a great craftsman, and he married a lady, a nice elven lady named Nerdanel, and he bore 7 sons named Madros, Magor, Kelagorm, Kurathyr, Kurafin, Amrad, and Amras.
You know,
So-
after reading the Bible, this really feels like some of the unnecessary parts, where it's just like a bunch of the names of like the sons of like the Israel like descendants, and they're not going to show up anywhere.
Well,
But you
actually,
still put them in because it's kind of neat.
yeah, but the thing is, the Sons of Faenor become important. But the main ones you want to know from the Sons of Faenor is Mydros, Magor, and Kurafin. Those are like the 3 ones that actually have done the most stuff. Other stuff they did something. So, but anyway, so Faenor, when he became a craftsman, well known for that, like making beautiful jewels that he makes like white gems until the stars shines on them, and they do different colors, beautiful things. He made lamps where it's like a blue flame in the crystal surrounded by like a globe thing, and they are called like Faenorian lamps, and nothing other than like magic can distinguish the flame that's in them. But he is also well known. You actually do recognize one of his most famous works, the Palantiri. The Palantirs. You know, the big stone thing, the scene stones that Saruman used to talk with Sauron.
Palantir.
That rings a bell.
Yeah.
It's the orb things.
Yes. So Faenor created those.
Can I say a joke? Really
What?
quick?
Yeah.
Apparently, if Gravity Falls is to be believed, Grunkle Sand has a plant here, and he hasn't gone crazy yet.
I mean, have you seen Grugglestan?
Well, the thing is that
maybe it doesn't. Sorry.
well, here's the thing. Sauron was long since defeated, so there's no way that he can go insane because it requires you to see Sauron. And clearly, Triangle Eye Guy did not have a Palantir.
You mean
But
Bill?
yeah, that's my joke. But anyway, so he decided he had foresight that the 2 trees are going to be distinguished at one point. Partly because this little guy named Melkor just got released on a probation for trying to wreck the world. He says he's totally repented of his sins, and the Valar just go okay, we'll give him a chance. And so Feanor really hates Melkor. Really bad. Like he has a huge hate boner. But anyways.
That's ironic.
Oh yeah.
Sauron the stuff.
Yeah, it gets funnier because Melkor actually knew that he hated him.
Oh, so he's manipulating him.
Yeah, so basically Melkor, spoiler, ends up manipulating Feanor to basically cause chaos.
Rings all along.
Chaos.
Yeah.
I will kill. Chaos.
Chaos!
Yeah. Okay, so we need to talk about his most famous thing that really kicks off the story. So knowing that the two trees are going to end, so he decides that he needs to capture their light. So his first attempt was to ask his niece for a lock of her hair. Galadriel. 3 times he tried. And 3 times Galadriel noticed that he has darkness inside him. And thus refused.
I sense darkness inside you.
Yeah, and here's the thing. So it makes a certain scene in Lord of the Rings very important. Remember Glothlorien when they left?
Uh-huh.
Who got 3 hairs of Galadriel? Gimli.
Oh.
That makes Gimli a total Chad.
Oh.
And also,
I remember. Yeah, that was what Gimli asked for. So I won.
he asked for 1. Galadriel gave him 3. So it's a failure on Feanor's end. And by the way, people think that Feanor in lore, that Feanor is one of the greatest elves ever. Yet he failed to get a single strand of hair from his niece, while Gimli, a dwarf, managed to get 3 strands of hair that he made into he ends up I'm going to talk a bit more on his lore, he actually made it into part of a jewel.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So that plan didn't work. So what Feanor ended up doing was create these things called the Silmarils, which were 3 diamonds made out of the light of the trees of Valinor. And they're like nice, big gems, which one of the Silmarils, was like the main emphasis, plot MacGuffin for the tale of Baron Luthien. And so there's these beautiful things that, if you're good, you can hold them. Well, once he had them, he kind of coveted them. They became his own. He's precious.
Oh.
Yes, he was very covetous of it, but he would only, he would put on a crown occasionally out in the open on himself, but other times he just keeps his hidden, and it's like, no, only me and my family can have these stones.
Why should I have these stones? They're mine. They remind me of McRib.
Exactly. So back to Melkor's manipulation. So Melkor essentially lied to Feanor that his half-brother, Fingolfin and Finarfin, are trying to essentially usurp his father and him and take the throne and take his Silmarils, while he told the exact opposite to Finarfin and Fingolfin. And this led into a sort of a confrontation a bit, where in front of the elven lords and Finwë, Feanor pulled out his sword and pointed at blade on his chest on Fingolfin, who's, by the way, just was like a total Chad, hey, what's going on? There's these weird rumors going on. And also, Melkor was trying kind of convince Feanor to not trust the Valar. In fact, saying oh yeah, the Valar are just holding your people back, keeping them prisoner on this wonderful island and not having their true place in Middle-earth. So all that stuff. And basically because of this confrontation, Melkor's lies got exposed. But because of it, Feanor got banished to one part of Valinor. Formenos is the Formenos, and basically him and his father and his family moved there. His father volunteered to go to that location, and that's where he stored all of his treasures, including the Silmaril, put them in a box, and just stayed there. After a while, there was a great reconciliation. There was a sort of reconciliation between Feanor and Fingolfin in front of the Valar.
Mm-hmm.
But during that time, that is when Sauron, I'm not Sauron, like Sauron is still in Middle Earth at this point. Melkor decided to show up, and he brought a friend.
Sauron?
No, Sauron. Nope. No. No. You don't know this person. Her name is Ungoliant.
Okay.
And I don't want to show you an image of her because she would give you trauma because she's your favorite animal.
Show it.
No. I keep having to remind you. It's not that I don't. It's not that I'm scared of spiders. I just have a deep hatred for those damn creatures.
Show it.
Show it.
Hate
I hate spiders.
if the word hate was printed on every chip, it would not equal to the one.
So these are artist renditions of Ungoliant. This is Sheob's mom, by the way.
Oh, that's lovely. Wow, I hate it.
Yeah. So just imagine a giant spider. And essentially they did an operation where they destroyed the two trees, put the world into darkness, absorbed the light. And then during this whole thing, they invade Formenos and stole the Cimmerils and killed Finwë. Meanwhile, the Valar basically asked Faenor, like, hey, we can't revive the trees. We can revive the trees. Actually, it was more, we can revive the trees, but we need the Cimmerils. Can you give us the Cimmerils so that we can revive the tree?
Do they give them the Cimmerils?
No, Faenor refused. Because remember, it's his precious.
What a douche.
Yeah, and then once he found out his father died, and he loved his father deeply. His father died, and his Cimmerils sold. He cursed Melkor, called him what we all know him as Morgoth. And so this...
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, so Morgoth...
Big fucking nerd.
Yeah, Morgoth fled... Morgoth and Ungoliant fled to Middle-earth, but then there was some shenanigans involving Ungoliant and Morgoth. That their alliance was only temporary. But anyway, because of Faenor decided, I want to go and fight that nerd and take my Cimmerils back. And I hate the Valar because Melkor was right about his kind. He literally used the same language that Melkor used to try to deceive him about the Valar.
Melkor was right. 2024.
Exactly. That was Feanor's logic. So he basically made this huge speech to all the Noldor. To basically say that the Valar are holding us back. We need to avenge us. We need to stop this great evil. And he decided at that moment to do the most horrid, the most infamous thing that holds, that he and his sons swore. They swore at this moment to say what they are going to do about the Cimmerils. This is the quote. Be he friend or foe, be he foul or clean, brood of Morgoth or bright Vala, Elda or Maya or aftercomer, men yet unborn upon Middle-earth, neither law nor love nor league of swords, dread nor danger, not doom itself, shall defend him from Faenor and Faenor's kin, whoso hideth or hoardeth or in hand taketh, finding keepeth, or afar casteth a Cimmeril. This swear we all, death we will do him ere day's ending. Woe unto world's end, our word hear thou. Uru all father, to the everlasting darkness doom us if our deed faileth. On the holy mountain herein witness, and our vow remember, Manley and Varda. So essentially, this oath is gonna drive the rest of the story of this family of failures.
Uh-huh.
Before he proclaimed himself king, quickly, and everybody just went along with this, and they were going about to head over to get boats to go across. But before that, Manway sent a messenger to basically say, okay, Faenor, you're banished. You're no longer. The rest of you, you can stay. You can stay if you choose to. But remember, if you leave, you're not going to come back until you suffer heavily. And they were given this choice. So they had time to think it over, but they were all convinced, including, by the way, Galadriel was among this crew. Galadriel was alive at the time. So she joined. So just imagine, a lot of famous elf characters in the early age, including Galadriel, were convinced by this guy to go to war, which also takes place in the first infamous thing. So remember, let's keep track, okay? We had like 3 main failures on Faenor. No, actually, let's just start with 0. The whole goal is to get 3 Cimmerils, okay? And then we're going to do all the deeds they have done before, and how many Cimmerils they got. So, Faenor and company needs to get boats to go to the other side, to Middle Earth itself, to Beleriand. So they went to the seafaring Teleri, who has a bunch of ships. They're known for grading ships. And they asked the Teleri if they can borrow their ships. They refused. And so the Nordor stole them, forcefully, starting a battle which is named the First Kinslaying.
Oh.
They killed a bunch of elves. 0 orcs and 0 Balrogs. More elves died. And this gets even better. So, Faenor, the elves that were with Faenor and his family went to the other side first, leaving behind Fingolfin and Finarfin. Finarfin decided to head back home. After seeing what he has done, regretted the decision and asked for forgiveness, which he stayed on the island. He was forgiven. But the thing is that when they got to the other side, Faenor decided, I still hate my brother, Fingolfin, and his whole family. Let's burn the ships.
Oh.
And only Midros, who is his eldest, refused to join in this because he liked his cousins. It's purely Feanor's fault.
Oh.
So they get to the other side, they land in there, and at first people who saw the Nordor were like, oh yay, elves are here! The elves from the Vow are here to save us! And then they learned what happened, and the reaction is like, you know how in Helsing Ultimate Abridged about the Catholic Church?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, like, oh, great, it's the Catholic Church to save you from yourself. Oh, great, it's the Catholic Church. That is basically that was basically their reaction to Feanor.
Oh, great, it's Faenor. Oh, great, it's Faenor.
Yeah, they learned about their deed. So, of course, Feanor just had no time. They went into immediate battle in a battle called Dagar Nuin Yellowlath, or in English, Battle Under the Stars. So the first big battles, and Feanor's side kicked Morgoth's butt until Morgoth decided to retreat, and Feanor decided, in his infinite wisdom, to press an advantage with only far ahead of his army.
Hmm.
Yeah, he fell into a trap with a bunch of Balrogs and got killed.
Oh, that's fun.
And the only interesting thing about his death is that he didn't have a corpse. His body burned away because of his fiery spirit.
Oh.
Fiery spirit,
Whoa.
but he
That
still
sounds-
he cursed Morgoth, and essentially he didn't get the privilege of being reincarnated
Ah.
because elves have this weird thing about reincarnation. I haven't explored that side enough in Tolkien lore to fully understand.
All right.
Like, Tolkien's kind of weird on that. So
Hmm.
They killed many elves, and they haven't gotten one summer elf, even though they.
Even though they went to war over that.
Yep. So the next one, we're going to his heir, the eldest son, one of Maedhros. So he took command, and immediately Morgoth went to him and basically said, "Hey, I am willing to. I come to make a bargain. I'll give you one of the Silmarils for conditions, but we need to have a negotiation. Let's meet at this location." So Maedhros thought, hey, it's probably a trap, so I'm just gonna pretend to accept his offer, but bring an army. It was a trap. The problem was Morgoth brought a bigger army.
Oh.
And Maedhros ends up getting captured, got his right hand pinned up on a mountain for 24 years.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, 24 years.
Wait, so he was just pinned to a mountain for 24 years?
Yep.
That's fucked up.
Doing
Yeah.
what? Just
Yep.
staying there?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna.
In pain.
I'm gonna kill that bastard so fucking hard when I get out of here.
Pretty much. Yeah. And he was only rescued because his cousin, Fingon. So what happened was Fingolfin's host, they were kicked. So when the ships burned down, they had to go through by land over treacherous mountains and coals, and a bunch of elves died.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, and so when they got back, there was tensions between the House of Faenor and the House of Fingolfins because of burning ships and.
I was stuck under a fucking rock for 24 years.
Well, Maedhros wasn't even there. He was still hanging in the rock, by the way. So this is during he's hanging up in the rocks.
I've been hanging here
I'm just
for
imagining
24 years.
I'm just imagining him with this blank fucking face as he just sits there under a rock, and in the back.
No, he's not under a rock. He's hanging from a rock,
just hanging.
like cliffhanger. Have you ever seen? Hey, Magic. Have you ever seen Between the Lions?
No.
Okay. John, have any of you heard of Between the Lions?
No, unfortunately.
Darn it. They have like this parody segment called Cliffhanger where it was a guy who was hanging on a cliff.
Hold on. Let me see if I know what you're talking about. All right, so there's a guy.
Oh, that one.
All right, so there's a guy. He knows he got chased by a lion, and during the chase, he accidentally falls off a cliff and hangs on a branch. If he climbs up, he sees a lot. He'll be faced with the lion. So maybe, climb down. Oh no, wait, there's another lion. So he's basically hanging on the branch, and he sees a strawberry or something, and he decides, all right, I'm gonna have it. And it was like the sweetest strawberry you ever tasted.
No, it's not. No, like Cliffhanger was a segment between a lion where each part it begins with people on a helicopter singing "Cliffhanger, hanging on a cliff."
And he has like that, and he has that like kind of cowboy hat looking thing.
Yeah, like Indiana Jones.
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. So that's basically Mydros for 24 years, and he doesn't starve or anything because he's an elf. He's immortal. He doesn't die like humans. So it's awful. So much so when Fingon, like, he went on a quest to search for Mydros, and when he found him, Mydros basically said, "Kill me,"
Oh.
because there was no way for him to go and get him out from his chains. Fingon just goes, "No, we're bros, man. I'm not gonna let you hang here forever, and I'm not gonna kill you because now I was gonna kill you, but now this eagle showed up, and now I can save you with an axe. And guess what? You have no hand, but you're alive."
Once I get metal hands, I'm gonna strangle him.
Honestly, I think given what happens afterwards, I think Fingon should have killed Mydros. But
You know that section from Gravity Falls with the
I know.
and the
I didn't know
and the-
much
and
about
the-
Gravity Falls.
in the
I-
pool, and he
Oh,
in a
John,
pool
you-
jail, and he's stuck there, and the seasons change, and you see like fireworks in the background, and it's snowing. I just imagine him, Igor, with like this blank, angry face the whole time, just sitting there in chains.
Yeah. So Mydros, after being rescued, as thankfulness, he gave up kingship. He basically says, "Yeah, I'm no longer High King of the Noldor. Fingolfin is King of the Elves now. I am gonna take me and my brothers. We're gonna go to this to which hill? Hithlum. We're gonna stay in Hithlum and rule around this around the lands of this beautiful land, and we're gonna team up to fight Morgoth if he acts up," and which happened very shortly. There was an offensive made by Morgoth. They beat him back, and then our good friends Baron and Luthien are now in the picture.
Oh.
So remember where two of the brothers kind of try to have Luthien marry one of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember, and the hound was their hound and stuff. So all that shenanigans just to Finwë end up dying. The king, they're trying to take over the kingdom. It failed because Luthien and Baron, love conquers all. They got kicked out. They tried to kill Baron Luthien. Didn't work out. They ended up getting stripped out of their armor. But the biggest thing that happened, right? So they managed to get a somewhere out, and it's in Doriath, right? But this also encouraged Mydros to basically say, "Okay, we're all gonna team up to take down Morgoth once and for all." So he gathers an army, and unfortunately, some of the Elven allies just goes, "Screw you," and only send like 5% of their army because of the shenanigans that his brothers did.
Uh-huh.
And also, Mydros is during this time, humanity stopped by, and there was this group of men that came from the east who volunteered, who basically became mercenaries.
Oh.
And he thought, "Oh, this is cool. We're gonna bolster this army." So they go and gonna fight Melkor again, and what happens is you see those mercenaries? It was the first mention in the Silmarillion about this Pacific group called Easterlings.
Easterlings.
Failure.
Do you know what the Easterlings? Do you remember the Easterlings?
Remind me.
Mama kills.
Huh.
They're the evil humans that served Sauron, and
Ah.
not all of them were bad though.
They're the guys with like the bone mask and like the
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So to be fair, let's gonna do it. To be fair here, two of them. Only one tribe of Easterlings betrayed them, but it was enough to turn the tide of battle, which included elves and dwarves and men fighting against Morgoth, and the battle became the Dagor Blogalok, or the Battle of Unnumbered Tears, because of this.
Huh.
So what happened is that after this battle, they lost so badly, they lost basically the entire north above Doriath completely fell under the controls of Sauron. He had free reign.
Oh.
It was a disaster, a military disaster. So
Failure.
So they failed on that heavily, and so what happens afterwards? So they decided, okay, we can't battle Morgoth. So you know what we can do? Well, Baron Luthien just died recently, and the necklace that was given to Luthien after the death of Thingolfin. No, Thingol. The death of Thingol. The necklace that she wore that contained the Silmaril is now to her son, who's the king of Doriath.
Oh. How convenient.
So let's convince him to give us that.
Mm.
And as you know, Silmarils are basically one ring. It's just a literal one ring in terms of how it affects people.
But did they ask with a pretty please though?
No. Nope.
Well, see, that's why he didn't give it away. He didn't say the magic word.
Yeah, so what happened is they attacked Doriath, which they straight up attacked Doriath, killed a bunch of elves, left two sons of King Dior, so the grandsons of Baron Luthien, alone in the woods to die. Like, they just disappeared. And only his daughter Elwing survived. Fled to the havens of Sirion, like far south near some boats. But also during this battle, by the way, this is called Kinslaying 2.
Oh, there's a second one.
Yep. Yeah, so Kingslaying 2, 3 of the sons died. Celegorm, Caranthir, and Curufin died during this kinslaying.
Sounds fun.
And then, so after the second kinslaying, quickly came the third because they went up to the havens, and guess what happened there?
More people died.
Yep, and only Maedhros and Malor survived this encounter. And by the way, do you think they got the Silmarils?
I'm going to assume no.
Yeah, no. But they instead got 2 boys. They got the two sons of Elwing, who is also her husband is Arindil. And she became a bird, fleeing with the Silmaril and be with Arindil, and essentially there became the saviors of the First Age. By the way, their sons that Magor and Maedhros quote unquote kidnapped and basically raised as sons is two sub boys named Elrond and Elros.
Oh, it's our boy Elrond.
And this is like the best period of their life. Like period, like this is like the best thing they have ever done.
Oh.
Yeah, so there are some things that like just before we wrap up like the story of the sons, we're very close. There are some things about the brothers, like Magor was more known was a magician. Like he was a great singer. There, and then Midros was of course the king, and he's like one-handed, and he's known as tall and red hair. And then you had Celebrimbor, who was the fair, who was the hottie. There was a guy named Caranthir the dark. He was a bit more edgy out of the brothers, even though they were all edgy. And then Curufin was like more of the smithing guy, but also the biggest asshole. And then we had two twins, Amrod and Amras. Oh, I forgot to mention. So Amrod and Amras were the youngest. And when Faenor was leading his kin to go to the other side, Nurendal, his wife, asked him to leave behind either both of them or one of them behind, because she was told that if your husband and your sons go to war, they're all gonna die.
Huh.
And guess what Faenor said?
Fuck it.
She basically said, "You either support me or you're not my wife. You're not."
Oh.
Be my waifu, or I will have your waifu.
Be my waifu, or there goes your waifu.
Like, he didn't kill her. They basically said they were estranged at this point because of Feanor's cuckoo-ness. Yeah. So essentially, the brothers themselves, as Mastic mentioned earlier when talking about the Bible, it is a good comparison. They work more as a group, but Magor and Midros had more of a focus out of them. Curufin had some focus because of Baron and Luthien.
Okay.
And Curufin is also the only one who had a child named Celebrimbor. We'll get to him. Oh,
okay. We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, so after the third kinslaying, basically this was the darkest time in the First Age, and this resulted in an event called the War of Wrath, where Elrindil and Elwing basically convinced the Valar and the Valar in Valinor to finally come in and save the day by using Silmaril. The Silmaril that was recovered by Baron Luthien, and now has them. And now the Silmaril became part of the Western Light. And so out of their reach. So War of Wrath happened, another 40-year war.
Another 40-year war.
It was a 40-year big war. It was such an apocalyptic war that Beleriand got completely destroyed, and half of Middle-earth sinks. And that's how you get like only Middle Earth.
Oh.
Okay. Wasn't the thing that sinks that giant star-shaped continent?
No, not yet. Numenor was still up.
Okay.
Numenor is something different. Okay, so after this War of Wrath, like before everything starts sinking, Magor and Midros tries to ask the Valar for the Silmarils because they were taken by Morgoth, who got his butt sent to the Super Hell, which is not like edges of the universe.
Super Hell.
Yeah, pretty much. I call it Super Hell. Basically, his like existence gets stretched across the cosmos.
Aha. Where's the super devil?
Well, Morgoth was the super devil, so
Then where's his motorcycle and jar of mayonnaise that we believe forces you to commit adultery?
he used it. He already used them during the War of Wrath. He used the marmalades to create Glaucon.
Ah.
Oh man, the children of Huron is gonna be wild.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, so they tried to steal from Maya, like finally tried to take the Silmarils, and they were caught.
Oh.
They were immediately caught,
Oh, that's lovely.
but then they were let go with the Silmarils.
Yeah.
One
Why?
problem. Oh, because probably because the Maya knew that what's gonna happen next, because the Silmarils were so pure and all the evil things they have done, it literally burned their hands.
Oh.
And
Oh,
so,
that's fun.
which drove Maedhros to cast himself into a fiery chasm,
Oh.
and he dies. And then Maglor is the only surviving son
Mhm.
because he threw his stone into the sea. But then he just spent. It is said that he spends the rest of basically the rest of the world just going around the coastlines, the shores, wandering, singing lamentations about his whole life, about the evils he has done and the loss of the Silmarils.
That sounds like it's gotta suck.
Yeah.
So basically he's like, you know what? I'm not gonna be evil now. Why? I got my hands burned.
Well, he's just so depressed.
I
Anyway,
got my hands burned and now I'm so depressed.
I got my hands burned. Now I'm just in depression.
Goes over to the guy with no hands. I would flip you off. Look at. Oh, it goes to the guy with no hands. Oh, boo hoo! Someone got their hands hurt.
Oh.
okay, so now we go to the final member of the Faenor line, Celebrimbor.
Yeah, just a long family line.
No, it's not a really long family line. It's just like you had 7 brothers, and then one of them had a son. So Celebrimbor is probably the most famous member of this family. So he was born with his father, and then like he took part in various events, including the Dagger Bragaloth, the first kinslaying. They kind of separated out of their Baron Luthien stuff, and he took part in more of a background thing, just a side note. But then at the Second Age, he built a kingdom right next to the dwarves of Khazad-dûm, which was like the main dwarf stronghold. And there he was well known as a great craftsman. He was the one who made the gates of Moria.
Oh.
Like he was great buddies with the ruler of Khazad-dûm.
Oh. How'd it go downhill from there? Yeah, how'd it go downhill from there?
Well, this is a little guy called this little elf named Anatar. Shows up and he thought, "Hey, we're great. I came from the Valar, especially Alway, who I think is the Smith God." Yes, the Smith God, and he teaches him how to create these powerful rings.
That makes sense.
Nothing can go wrong here.
Yeah, and nothing can go wrong here. So, with the help of, like, Celebrimbor ended up creating all the rings of power with the help of this guy named Anatar until he finds out he is Sauron. And Sauron needed him for one last tech, so he invades his kingdom, killed his wife and kid, and dragged him into Mordor and made him and helped him mix to reforge the One Ring because he destroyed it.
And now we got bling.
Yeah, and so, but instead he took the One Ring and took control of an army of orcs.
What was his
and
name
orcs, Celebrimbor. Attacking Sauron, and he tries to use the One Ring to control a bunch of orcs and urks to fight Sauron and lay claim over Mordor until he lost. Sauron defeated him and killed him. And then years later, during the Third Age, this guy named Talion got killed in the Black Gates, and he became a wraith and helped Talion take revenge on him. And then he tries to make a new army of orcs and take on Sauron, and got defeated again. But this time because Talion betrayed him. Talia, because he knew he couldn't let Celebrimbor become the Bright Lord, and so Talion essentially destroyed the new ring they created to fight against Sauron, and thus that's the end of Celebrimbor.
Oh. Huh. Oh, that was a trip. So
see you. I sent you a DM.
Hold up, let me. Do it. Hey Changis.
what?
You've been
What?
gaslighted.
What?
I gaslight you.
Wait, how much did you gaslight?
I gaslight the entire story of Celebrimbor. I basically told you the game of Shadow of War, summarized it, and it's completely non-canon.
What?
Yeah.
So you did all this just to fucking gaslight me?
Yeah.
Yes. I'll give you the real story. Okay.
God damn
So-
it, Nick! What have you done? This is what I fucking told SGD on my stream, right? This is your fault. You cultivated this environment where everyone just gaslights me. This is your fault, Nick. You asshole.
You know, I was originally gonna
Check out the meme channel.
by the way, so I'm planning to release this episode on April 1st.
Oh, you bastard.
Check out meme channel.
Yeah, so okay, so I'll give you the actual lore. So it is true that he was friends with the dwarves in the Kingdom of Khazad-dûm, and he did meet with Anatar, right? And he did help make 3 rings. He made the Elven rings without assistance from Sauron, unknown to Sauron.
Okay, so.
But because of well, that's all the actual truth. I'm giving you the actual lore. Okay? So he created the rings without Sauron knowing it, but because of the magic that was required to make the rings, the One Ring would still be able to control them.
Huh.
But and then in secret, Sauron forged the One Ring. But it's because when he put on the One Ring to do his whole shenanigans of rings of power and stuff, that the elves instantly learned, oh crap, it's Sauron! And Celebrimbor was actually one of the original owners of the 3 elven rings.
Oh. Huh.
Also, Celebrimbor was never married, and he never had a kid.
Huh.
And so... But instead, he kind of scattered the rings. So basically, it started a war between Sauron and the Elven kingdoms, called the war between Sauron and elves.
Oh.
And so, during this war, Celebrimbor's kingdom, he was like the head of a kingdom that was right next to Khazad-dûm. That kingdom fell. But the dwarves there actually helped guide Galadriel and I think her daughter at the time flee to Lorien. And so during this war, Celebrimbor has a kingdom called Eregion. So Eregion fell, and Celebrimbor was captured and he was tortured, but he refused to disclose the whereabouts of the ring.
Oh.
And Celebrimbor died.
Ooh.
And so Sauron decided to file his body by hanging it on a pole and have his body shot with arrows and parade as a banner as Sauron attacks the Grey Havens.
Okay. Well, that's one way to make a statement.
Yeah, but his actions. So and also Celebrimbor, I didn't mention about the circumstances of why he left his father. He was so appalled at Curfin's crap with Luthien that he disowned his father.
Oh.
So Celebrimbor is actually the Chad of the House of Faenor.
Oh. I
bet my
tongue.
What? You're good?
Yeah, I bet my tongue.
Oh.
Ow. Yeah, so Faenor, no, out of the House of Faenor, Celebrimbor is actually a very Chad, and so it's the Shadow of War games are fun as games. Huge disrespectful to one of my boys, Celebrimbor.
Ah. Wait, so are they not canon, or?
They're not canon. No,
Ah.
they're fanfics.
Oh,
Very
okay.
fun fanfics.
Yeah, they're very fun. Like I'm not gonna do anything Shadow of Mordor related. I only did it as a joke.
Ah. Is that a good game though?
Yes. Oh yeah.
From what I played, it was pretty good.
Shadow of Mordor is one of my favorite games. I played Shadow War. I'm kind of hit or miss. Like it's a case where they improved on some stuff, but then they kind of didn't improve on other things.
Ah.
Yeah. So anyway, so what do you think, Changis?
This sounded like one hell of a mess. Because some guy named Faenor. It's all started because some guy named Faenor was like, I don't like you guys touching my stone, my magic rock. It's my magic rock. I'm not addicted to it. I'm not obsessed with it. I can stop up whenever I want. Get away!
Hey, Changis.
No, we did not gaslight you. No, we didn't.
How much of this is a lie?
No, only the Celebrimbor bit. Only that Celebrimbor bit was a lie.
Were you guys planning this shit?
Oh, I was funny. So behind the scenes, though, I told Not and Zero Nick that this was my plan.
Oh my god.
I was planning on this.
God damn it, you guys. Oh my god, you guys. You guys suck.
So, guys, any final thoughts?
You know, Faenor could have been so much a better person if only he had a McRib.
There we go.
Just one McRib, and he would have been fine.
Fair. And it's like, do you know? Tell me. Tell me. How much do you know about McRib?
I think the guy who had his hands cut off should have had two given to him.
Yeah, it's just,
Manager should have been killed.
everything could all have just been solved if they just replaced the magic stones with some McRibs.
But then the whole story will be about Feodor's revenge that that Morgoth ate his McRibs.
No, it's not that he ate his McRibs; it's that he was eating Burger King when it's McRib season. The fuck is this, Morgoth? Burger King in McRib season?
All right. I think that'll be good for now. So that's it.
More of a
Frodo, the door!